Okay, hey crocheters, are you guys ready? I'm not ready. Okay, here's the thing. I cannot find my notes for the blanket that I plan on doing a crochet along about. I can't find them. Hi guys. My name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg. It's a channel where I seem to lose all of my crochet stuff and I have no idea where it's at. Alright, so the spider stitch. Our crochet along should be starting on Saturday, October 7th, right? I'm basing my version of the blanket on my pink and white spider stitch blanket that I posted about 3 months ago. I did type out the pattern in the description box, but what I'll do is I also have a blog called Granny Square Peg at Google. Okay, I will type it up there so it'll be easier to leave it up on your computer screen or maybe on your mobile device, okay, instead of always having to go to the YouTube video and loading that up. All right, so here's the thing. Since I can't find my notes, I have to kind of backwards engineer or reverse engineer my blanket. So here's the pink and white one. I sat with it on my lap and I counted out the chains. Then I counted out the first row, and then because my first row is single crochets, and then the second row is where I start with the spider stitch. So I've been sitting since 10 o'clock this morning with yarn and a hook working out my stitch numbers since I cannot find my notes, because that is my life. My house is chaotic and it's a mess and it's cluttered, and I checked everywhere. I checked in the bin where I keep all the random notes for the projects that haven't been done yet. I checked on my table where I sat and had the notes when I typed them out in the description box. Then I checked my desk. I have no idea where they're at. I even have a notebook, a 3-ring binder, where when I'm done with the videos, I put my notes for the blankets in the 3-ring binder. It's not in there either. So y'all want to come over and go through my pile of papers, see if you can find my notes. That'd be nice. So, details for our crochet along. I'm all tangled up in the yarn. Details. I am using a number 4 medium weight yarn. Okay, so it depends on where you're at or which yarn company that you're buying it from. Number 4 is the weight. It is called medium weight, worsted weight, Aran weight, and people in Australia, you guys call it 8-ply, 10-ply, I'm not sure. So if there's any Australians who know what you guys call it, put it down in the comments below. So I am using 5 colors for the blanket and then 1 color for the border. So I've got 6 skeins of yarn. My skeins of yarn, 5 of them or 6 ounces. 1 of them is 7 ounces. Don't worry, I'll dig out all the labels. I'll give you more numbers. And I'm using a size I crochet hook, which is, how many millimeters is that, ladies and gentlemen? There's an H. There's an I. The I is the 5.5 millimeter. Why am I using such a big hook? Good question. Because the pink and white blanket that I made, it's got a lot of drape to it. It's got a lot of movement and it flows, okay? And I like that. I have since made this spider stitch in a G and an H, which is a 4.25 and a 5 millimeter, I want to say. And it comes in kind of stiff and kind of dense. And well, that's okay. I don't like that on all my blankets. All right. So my blanket is roughly 50 inches wide by 50 inches tall. It is almost perfectly square. Is that lap size? Is that a throw size? Yeah, it's somewhere around in there. I think I want this one that I'm doing for the crochet along. I think I want it to be taller. I think I want it to be closer to twin size. So I'm probably going to have to go buy more yarn. But I just want to use what I have first, and then I'll do the yarn shopping. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the pink and white blanket. I'm going to go lay it out on the bed so I can show you what it looks like in how long it is and how wide it is. Okay, and then I'll show you the yarns that I have, and we'll go through the numbers again. Okay, so while I cannot find my notes, I can reverse engineer this well enough so we can start our crochet along. Okay, so be back with you guys in a minute. Okay, I know the lighting's not the best, but we're upstairs in my room. Okay, and this is the blanket, right? The pink and white one. It goes white, light pink, white, dark pink, white, light pink, and then white. So 7 blocks of color. So when I say blocks, I mean a nice big chunk of color, not stripes, okay? So blocks of color, there's 7. And I've got roughly, I keep coming up with different measurements. Every now and then it's 50 inches, sometimes it's 53, sometimes it's 54. So, you know, it depends on how it gets stretched out. And it's roughly the same going that way, right? So here are the colors I want to do for the crochet along. I've got pink, and then blue, some orange, some lime green, and some purple, right? And I do have yellow, but I was undecided on where to do the yellow, you know? I didn't like it in between any of the colors. So what I'm thinking of with laying this out, I'm going to take this yellow and I'm going to split it in half. And I'm going to do the first part of the blanket in yellow. Then I'll do a big chunk of pink, big chunk of blue, then a big block of orange, and then the green, and then the purple. And then the yellow I have left over, because I'll actually have to measure it out. I'll put the yellow here, okay? Because I want this blanket to be as tall as possible. I actually want to add a little length to it. So I also have these soft white colors, and I was thinking about putting them on the border. But I can also put them on the beginning too. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always changing my mind about these things. So this is Big Twist from Joann's. It's my local craft store. 6 ounces, 6 ounces, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7, and 6. So with 6 ounces is 380 yards, 170 grams, or 347 meters. I'll do the math when I sit down and I'll tell you guys how much yarn I think it's going to take. Okay? So there's the blanket. There's my Karen Cakes leftovers. I told you, it's on my bed every day and I use it every night. It's the only blanket I use. This yellow checked comforter, my husband uses that one because he's cold at night and I'm not. You know, I use that every night. It looks awesome in my room. So anyway, let's go sit down and talk some numbers. But this is what we're working with, okay? And remember, the spider stitch is upside down. It is a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the same space. And then when you come back in the next row, you do your spider in the chain 1. So single crochet, chain 1, single crochet in the chain 1 space from the row before. Gives you this awesome texture. And like a walking spider look, right? It's awesome. Okay, am I in focus? Yes. Been having problems with my microphone. It's been pulling out of the camera. So I know that the yarn that I'm using is Big Twist from Joann's, which is a craft store near me. Okay. I know not everybody has access to Joann's. Let's go shopping in your yarn stash. If you don't like my colors, pick colors that make you happy, pleasing to your eye, okay? I'm going with the bright colors because bright colors are fun, and it's so hard to be depressed when you're working with bright colors, right? So that's my take with that, all right? So I tried to find the brightest, happiest colors I could find in the craft store that day, and that's why I'm going with these. So the yarn I'm using it's called Big Twist. It belongs to Joann's. It's their in-house brand, but you can use Red Heart Super Saver. You can use Red Heart with Love. You can use Karen Simply Soft. You can use Premier Basics. Lion Brand Heartland, if you like those heathered colors. Oh, I'd like to see the spider stitch in those heather colors. You can use Aran cakes because they're really good with their color choices and their color changing. You can use the self-striping yarn. Vanna's Choice. That's a good one to use. I really like Vanna's. I like her color selection. What was the other one I was thinking of? Oh, Bernat Super Value. Okay. Or any of the big high-end companies, or whatever company you have access to, use that. But go shopping in your yarn stash. See if you can put 5 or 6 colors together to come up with a spider stitch blanket. So I am with Big Twist. It's 100% acrylic. All right. It is a number 4, which is a medium weight, worsted weight, Aran weight, Afghan weight, and I did hit the internet to find out how many plies it is. The conversion chart says it's 10 to 12 ply. Okay, for anybody who doesn't do it in the number system like we do. Okay, so number 4, medium weight, worsted weight, Aran weight, Afghan weight, or 10 to 12 ply. Another thing, if you don't like using a number 4 medium weight, use a number 3. Use the light, the DK weight. Use sport weight. But understand, if you change the weight of your yarn, if you go with a lighter weight or a bigger one like number 6, which is the bulky, and 7 is super bulky, you're going to have to change your initial starting chain, and you're going to have to change your hook size. So you have to adjust accordingly with whatever kind of crochet skills you have. And whatever is natural with your tension, you're going to have to make it bigger or smaller. Okay. For this one, I am using the I crochet hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter. All right. I have in the past used the H, which is a 5 millimeter. I think the H is a good compromise between the G, who brings the stitches in kind of tight, to the I that leaves them nice and big and loose. Right. So the G, the G is weird because some of my hooks, once they started putting the millimeters on there, because I have quite a few crochet hooks from the 60s, 70s, and the 80s where they didn't put the millimeters on there. It just B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, you know. I have some that are 4 millimeters with the G, and I have some that are 4.25 millimeters. So, you know, it, I think it kind of averages out. I don't know. So I'm using the I at 5.5 millimeters. I want my blanket nice and loose. Okay. How much yarn are you going to need? I'd say at the minimum, if you do at least 7 blocks of color and the border, you're going to need at least 48 ounces of yarn. Because here in the United States, the yarn is in 4-ounce skeins, 6-ounce skeins, 8-ounce skeins. Okay, so I did the math on that. At 6 ounces for 8 skeins is 48 ounces. Okay, it is just over 3,000 yards. It came in at 3,040 yards, 1,300 grams, 1,360 grams. And for those who measure in meters, it comes to 2,776 meters. Okay, I will type all this down in the description box because I know it's a lot of information, and I know I go through it pretty fast. And let's see, what else did I have? Oh, I did try to figure out how much you need per color, and you need about 5 ounces of yarn per color. Okay, which would be 5 ounces per color, which is about 380 yards, 347 meters, or 170 grams per color block. Okay. And then let's see, what else do I got? Because I'm trying to reverse engineer it, my notes are all scribbled. Okay, so we know that my blanket is somewhere between 50 and 54 inches wide. It's somewhere between 48 and 54 inches tall. I am aiming for a taller blanket. So I'm going to be adding more yarn once I run out, but that's weeks down the road. So this color is watermelon pink, aqua blue. Yeah, this is the label. I took the label off, and so I still have all the information on it, whether it's washable, dryable, what weight it is, and how many yards and meters. And then I just stapled a little bit of yarn on there so I know what's what. Okay, the orange is actually called Orange Bright. So it's bright orange. All right. They called the green, I call it lime green, but they called it slime. Slime green. The purple is called lilac. It's just a light shade of purple, but not too pastel-y. And my yellow is from Red Heart, and it's called lemon. Okay? And then I have 2 skeins of that soft white. So I'm still undecided on exactly how I'm doing my color placement, all right? On the average, I get about anywhere between 15 rows to 22 rows out of 1 skein of yarn. Okay, so this is 6 ounces, and I can get at least 18 rows out of it, 15 rows at the minimum, depending on what size hook I use. So the bigger the hook, the less amount of rows I get. So I say 15 at the minimum, 22 if I use a smaller hook, okay? Here's my pink. I think, I love to put pink and blue together. That's why I always put them together right next to each other. And then I always think that the orange always looks really good next to the blue. Yeah? And then I always think that the green looks good next to the orange. Got a little bit of a Halloween vibe with that, right? And then the purple next to the green. Now the purple goes really good with the orange too. But I like it like this. So this is what I'm aiming for. The yellow, rainbow wise, just did not fit in. When I laid it out and did pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, this yellow from Red Heart just didn't quite match. And Big Twist didn't have any yellow in the store that day. So I'm thinking this is too pale to put in with my color selection, that I would either use it as the trim or the border, or to use it at the beginning of the blanket and the end of the blanket, next to the pink, next to the purple. So we'll see when Saturday rolls around, because that's when we're starting. Saturday, October 7th. And here's my 2 skeins of, what do they call this? They call it ivory, which, you know, you guys, if you've been around a while, I always call it creamy white or soft white or off-white, my favorite color. Okay guys, I think that is it for today's video. Hopefully I got all the information I could think of. If I missed anything, let me know down in the comments below. Okay, sometimes I forget things, or I skip over things, or you guys need clarification on something. Just throw the comments down below and I will answer them. I'm looking forward to this. I've been in a bit of a slump. A life slump, a crochet slump, a reading slump. I'm looking forward to starting a new blanket, starting a new project, and working it with you guys. So on Saturday, we will sit down with our hook, with our yarn, and we will do the chain. We'll do the first row, which is all single crochets, and then we'll do the second row, and the second row is where we start the pattern with the spider stitch, and that second row just repeats for the whole body of the blanket, okay, the whole length of the blanket till it is as tall as you want. Okay, I would like to do it live. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you guys want to start to crochet along with a live video so you can talk to me live in the chat and ask me questions and I can answer them? Or do you want me to just record it and we'll get it started and then we'll do a live later and I can answer any and all questions that you guys have? Let me know, because I've never done a live video and I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also terrified of doing it. Okay, there could be so many technical issues, you know, and I've never done it before, so I'd be learning as I go. I want to thank you guys for all of your comments, for being there for me and being patient with me while I work through some of my childhood issues and my trauma, and being my therapist for the moment, because I know why I have a lot of stuff, and one of you ladies in the comments, you're right, it's childhood trauma and it's control issues. I mean, I know that. So you guys are smart. All right. Also grab some stitch markers for those that might be newer to crocheting. Get yourself some stitch markers, or get some scrap yarn that you have and cut some pieces so you can use it as a stitch marker. You're gonna need them. Even those out there who say, nah, I don't need any stitch markers. Sometimes, just sometimes you do. Okay. All right. I will catch you guys later. I love you all, and bye.